Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The one and only Sydney Sweeney joins us. Sydney, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Tom Hanks and Robin Wright in my favorite movie of the year. Guys, thanks so much for joining the show.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
One of my all-time favorites, Vince Vaughn, joins us right now. Vince, thanks, man.
Oh, great to be with you, Brad, and great to be talking to Houston. Good morning to you.
We got Owen Wilson. We got Judy Greer. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thank you.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
We got Anna Sawai joining the show. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Paris Hilton, the infinite icon herself, is on the show. Paris, love the film.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
Brian and James, of course. No, look, I will be honest with you. When I saw that y'all were doing this documentary, and I was wondering, like, what was going to be the story about bowling? When I started watching the first episode, so I come from like a pro wrestling background. I've been in wrestling for 14 years, and I see a lot of similarities between pro wrestling and bowling, where it's not the glitz and glamour that you might think it is all the time. You're making the towns, you're making these tournaments, you're doing the roads, you're not staying in the best of situations. Sometimes it's a struggle. And I guess I just didn't realize that bowling was such a rich subject, Brian.
I mean, it absolutely is a rich subject, and the comparison to wrestling, I think in some cases applies here, right? The difference is, of course, like no bowler is out there bodybuilding and coming out shirtless, but the moment someone does, like, oh, we'll be there. But the culture, right? The community, the bowling community, it really does highlight the fact that everyone that is who's bowling at that level as a professional bowler, they are committed to paying their way, hotels, Airbnbs, gas, and if they don't win, they don't make anything. And that level of commitment was such a surprising feat for us that as we discovered more and more about this world and got to meet so many of the great bowlers that are bowling today, it highlights just the struggle and the challenge that they face every single tour that they are out there.
Well, and I almost wondered, like, James, when you're putting together, obviously you've done documentaries before and you've been in this realm and produced several very successful ones, but I almost wonder, like, when you go in with the plan, this is what we want these, show to be about. But in a documentary, I feel like it has to come together in the edit. You can have all these ideas of what you want the story to be, but sometimes when you get out there and you start rolling cameras, the real life people give you these great moments and these great stories that you see, I guess, in the editing room floor. How different was your original vision, or you all's original vision, to what you actually got from the cutting room floor, or from the edit, rather?
It morphs and changes along the way. I mean, even when you kind of write out the general outline of what you think it's going to be, even before you start rolling, just to give yourself some sort of roadmap to try and get through it. And then it gets to the point where as you're filming, you're discovering a lot of things are happening. But you're right, there are so many things and different, we have multiple cameras going at the same time, so many different things that you're shooting that you get into the edit, you have all these happy accidents that happen. For example, episode 1, we really introduce you to the world and you get to learn about the pro to fro, Kyle Troop and Cam Crow. But then as we get into the second episode, you start to learn about Anthony Simonson. We shade more towards him. And there's a bunch of different outbursts that happen that we at the time didn't fully understand how they wove together. But in the edit, you started to see, oh, this person was doing something on these lanes, and this was happening on the other lane at the same time, and they actually overlap within the same story.
So yeah, so those are one of the things that you have to, like you said, those happy accidents to get you, the little jewels at times in a documentary. But I guess Brian, when it comes to the subject itself, as we talked about, like the struggles of these guys, but also you see the pure love of something and of bowling that they have, and to me, it's always such an interesting facet of the human experience when somebody has a love for something with their whole heart and it makes you love it with them. And that's kind of what also comes through in this story, is how much these guys take this game truly with the utmost passion.
Well, it certainly speaks to us to hear you say that. That was certainly our experience, and we wanted to convey that to the audience. So people at home watching this for the first time, who their experience with bowling might just be like a bowling party, birthday party as a kid, or bowling on the weekends, and never really understood like how the professionals do this, and the idea that you can watch these bowlers dedicate their life, love it this much. It's really it's heartwarming. There's a lot of humor and there's a lot of heart in the show, and we really wanted to bring that to life, and we hope that really does come across, because it's a very relatable situation, right? To see someone want something so bad, and it's not just about following bowlers who are winning. It's about recognizing like what it means for them to achieve that level of greatness in their journey for success.
Well, and also this is like something I think that a documentary such as this, I think this may be why I compare it to wrestling at the beginning, is because there's so many things within the world and within the culture, these weird idiosyncrasies or these ritualistic patterns that the performers themselves have, or even the language that they might use and the colloquialisms and the jargon, James, and diving into all that. What were some of the surprising things that you find out about the bowling culture that perhaps you had no clue about beforehand?
The biggest thing, and this is something that's mentioned to us all the time that we do break down in episode 1, is normally when we tell people, or like when I've talked to friends or family, I'm doing a project on professional bowling, they first talk about like, how do they not get a strike every single time? These are pros, they should have the game wired. The idea of what oil patterns are is mind-blowing to people. The fact that there's an obstacle out there on the lanes that you can't see. And then at one point, I was talking to EJ Tackett, who's also a phenomenal golfer, as well as being like one of the best, if not the best bowler in the world right now. And he said, I likened, the oil patterns to putting, like on a putting green. And he said, well, yeah, but imagine if you couldn't see the green. Like that's a mind-blowing concept, but they are dealing with an obstacle that they can't see. So something like that was really big. And the other thing that was really powerful for both Brian and I have talked about a ton is the idea of how resilient these bowlers are, because they're not playing a team sport. And even the best players in the world are only winning maybe 20% of the time. So that's a lot of loss that you're carrying with you as an individual. And then you're driving all around the country on your own a lot of the times. It is a certain level of solitary kind of a sport. And so to be able to have the mental fortitude to bounce back every single week and think, this is the week that I'm going to win is a really, really inspirational thing.
It also, there was a David Letterman, I think, once said, like, whenever he had a bad show, hey, I know I got another show tomorrow. And I'm assuming that that's sometimes what any professional athlete of any kind, like, I have another game tomorrow. I got another at bat tomorrow. I got another set tomorrow that I can go out there and do it. But you're right, just the mental fortitude and the toughness. But the oil patterns, I had to say, was just such a mind-blowing thing that as somebody who's bowled dozens of times in my life, I've never heard once at any bowling alley in history anybody talk about the oil patterns, Brian. And that, again, to kind of go off what James says, that had to be one of those things where like we have to spend time on this because this is insane.
I mean, well, first of all, you've got like the Zamboni, right? It's like running down the lane, and you see this thing, and you're like, what the heck is that doing, right? And if you go to your regular bowling alley just to bowl for funsies on the weekend, or even on a weekday night, they're open all throughout the week. You're not getting to experience the actual challenge that these pro bowlers are doing, right? So there is a separation between like what happens on your hometown lanes or Lucky Strike near you versus like what these guys are on. When they are competing, the idea is, hey, let's make it such a challenge. And 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 one of the key things for us when we were approaching this was we didn't want to just shove the information down your throat as a filmmaker. Like we didn't want you to just feel like, okay, let's explain the sport in a way that it's just like there's this detail and this detail. There's a lot about bowling that we couldn't touch upon in the series. The main goal for us was to let you into this world, pull back the curtain, bring to light these details like the oil patterns or, how how the ball is made, the weights and everything, but to do it in a really fun way. And that was when we kind of approached like how we can utilize voiceover within this, and then like the holy grail of getting Liev Schreiber to do our voiceover was just like the penultimate like aim for putting together a unique sports documentary series on professional bowling.
Well, unique it is. The love of the game comes through. The passion comes through. I think that y'all nailed that. And again, it's very enthralling documentary. So I appreciate y'all taking the time. And if there ever is a body slamming bowler, I think that we have another documentary we can think about. But but guys, I do appreciate your time.
Thanks for having us. And we really hope that exists too, because imagine the
yeah.